What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Javelins for Hire, an Anthem podcast by Nerds Gone Rogue. This is episode 3. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Derrick, and alongside me, as always, the wise Wisconsinite, Jesse Douglas.
How's it going?
You may notice he sounds a little bit different because he got a cool microphone. All right.
And I got it for I found one person selling it on eBay, and it just said NIB, and I'm like, well, okay, I know what NIB means, but dang, he's selling it for pretty cheap for it to be new in box.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of people were selling it for like around 40 or whatever, like close to what I paid, but it was used. It was opened, and in a lot of cases either missing a piece or had like a little chips or something in the mic itself, or something wrong with it, and they were selling it for what I almost got it for brand new. And so I'm like, well, I better grab it now while I can, because I was at Best Buy today, and they're still selling it brand new for $80, and I got it for a little under 50. So
nice. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Man, yeah, I've been so busy this week, just like I've consumed more Anthem content than I really care to, especially because I kind of wanted to go into this game kind of just not knowing anything and exploring it. But since we decided to do this, I was just like, you know what, I gotta consume this content. By the time you hear this, a couple videos might be up, or if they're not up yet, they will be later on this week on the Javelins for Hire YouTube page. If you want to go head over there and subscribe and whatever, just do that. Smash that bell. You get notifications every time a video goes up. I watched a lot of Anthem this week, and just the amount of customization and this game's going to be way deeper than you think it is. Because I was shocked at how much information I learned, at how much you can do with just a single javelin, let alone all four of them. And that's what today's show is going to be about. We're going to talk about the javelins and kind of your abilities and movesets and weapons and that sort of stuff. There's just so many interesting things, and I even watched some stuff on Mass Effect Andromeda just to see how the movement and what they kind of took from there, and what they maybe using some of the systems or whatever. And there are some things from Mass Effect Andromeda, but nothing that's going to really concern players, customization stuff, mostly, making your own colors and your player editor and all that kind of things, that kind of stuff. And then, of course, they have an N7 armor mod for your javelins as well, so which is really cool. And also for Dragon Age fans, don't worry, they didn't forget you. They have dragon scales that you can unlock for your
nice.
javelins, so it's cool. It's really
nice.
Cool. But yeah,
dragon
man,
scale armor.
I consumed way more Anthem content this week than I really care to, because last week, we kind of received some feedback. I was kind of underprepared for last week's episode, so I wanted to make sure we were really kind of prepared for this week, because I didn't really think there was as much lore out there, so I thought we could kind of wing it.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, I thought we did a good job. I just was underprepared looking at it, and there was more than I expected. So this week we are extra prepared. So also, the other Anthem podcast I thought was going to be our rivals hasn't posted an episode since September. So,
oh, okay.
And I didn't even know you could have this much content. They probably have 20 something episodes already, and I'm like, how do you have this many episodes? But they haven't really posted an episode since September, so I think we're all right.
Oh, okay.
So. Also, good news on the iTunes front, at least. We are now the number 6 Anthem podcast on iTunes. And that's not just the Anthem game. There's 3 religion podcasts ahead of us, and then there is one Anthem proper podcast ahead of us, and then I don't know. There's something else in front of us. I had no idea what it was. So, thank you guys for downloading the show on iTunes and making our first few episodes on YouTube even pretty successful. So, yeah. But we're going to get started here. We're going to talk about your player character in general, and then we're going to move into the Javelins. So, one thing, Jesse, I think we pretty much knew this already, but I wanted to confirm it here. Your player level, your character level, is separate from your Javelins. You level your character up as you move through, and then you upgrade your Javelins with the loot that you find through the game. You when you find it's cool because you know how in Destiny sometimes you find loot for other classes that you don't necessarily use, and it's just kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
The more the loot you find is, from what I gathered from all the videos I watched this week, all the gear you find is going to be the Javelin that you are using at that current time.
Okay.
And so, like, they do kind of encourage you to play around with multiple Javelins if you are in a squad that's kind of like, we like to move stuff around. Maybe you want to play as like 2 different Javelins instead of just 1 or 2 or 3. Play around with them, But it is cool that they kind of aim the loot towards the Javelin that you're currently using. I was kind of worried about that since you don't have to create multiple players to use different Javelins. You can just switch through them on the fly. Your pilot level carries over to all your Javelins, and there's no need to grind out the 4 separate times. So as you're playing as your gear, like the loot works similar to what Destiny's light level is for your Javelins. Like you go out there and the higher the level, the more powerful the gear is. But the one nice thing that it seems like Anthem is going to do is, as your player levels up, your Javelins will kind of level up with you also. So like even if you don't have the most powerful gear for those Javelins, if you want to try out a new Javelin, it's not going to discourage you from trying that out in a later mission.
Okay.
So
that's nice. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Let's see here. Skill points can go into abilities such as flight time, and you'll be able to fly longer without overheating, and offers better traversal, obviously. There's going to be a skill tree like the one kind of in the later Mass Effect games. It's not going to be like, hardcore super RPG, but you will be able to customize your character and your Javelins how you see fit. There are multiple slots for each Javelin, which we're going to get into, where 2 of them are offensive abilities and 1 is a support ability. So you're always going to have that balance of, okay, I can have 2 really cool offensive abilities that go well together, and you can also save loadouts. So maybe you're going to go in as a support Javelin one mission, and then you'll want to be the offensive Javelin the next mission. You don't have to keep switching them out through a menu. You can just say, okay, here's my offensive Javelin loadout, and I'll pick that this mission, and you'll just be able to use it. So so that's something I thought was pretty cool. So we're gonna actually start with the Ranger Javelin, which is the Javelin everybody starts with when you play the game, and then you kind of unlock the other ones as you move along. Let's see here.
Yeah, I was just wanted to add like what you said. Like I was kind of guessing they're gonna probably do some kind of skill tree thing, just because it that's been something they've kind of done in Mass Effect throughout all of them, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like that's like the skill tree thing.
The only
I think it works good for that kind of game type as well. So
yeah, the only Mass Effect game that didn't really have a skill tree was the first one, and that's because it was more you were leveling up stat, like different, like your charisma and your power and your that kind of stuff, instead of just okay, they kind of turned Mass Effect 2 and 3 and then later Andromeda into third person shooters more than the RPG element of it, and that's where the skill trees came in. So okay, so before we get into the Ranger stuff, Each Javelin can have up to 3 pieces that can affect their stats and abilities in combat. The first 2 slots focus on offense, while the third is supportive. The first slot has 5 unique abilities per class, which we will go over. The second also has 5 unique abilities per class. And then the third has 2 unique abilities per class. So this brings a total of 48 unique abilities that you can have on a team at any different time. There is going to be a lot of mix and matching, and a lot of abilities actually help you perform combos with your teammates. They showed some pretty cool combinations through the Anthem official YouTube channel where they were kind of playing around with some of the abilities, and it actually was really cool. Where one would, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, where somebody would launch somebody up in the air, and then you would use the heavy weapon from the Colossus where they would just kind of blow everybody up, and it was really cool looking. Okay, so we're going to start with the Ranger. The Ranger has their kind of melee ability is a shock mace. The shock mace is this really powerful weapon that kind of knocks everybody over. It's really cool. It kind of sends out an electrical pulse when you hit somebody, and that's kind of like their main melee. It's you can have like a melee build with some of the combinations of abilities too, where they were actually using that on the live stream. It was instead of using, you still had the weapons and stuff, but they used the combination of abilities that helped you get up close and use the shock mace. You would knock them back, and then maybe you would throw like a sticky grenade that held them in place, and then you could go up them and beat them with the mace till they died or whatever. So it was nice. It was really cool. So let me scroll.
Yeah, it's always nice when they add like that kind of stuff where you can have combinations, like combo type things as a group like that. That's cool because that's the kind of stuff that that you're used to, like more so you, because you've done raids and stuff in Destiny, and and that seems to be one of the things in like keys and raids is how you set up your combo attacks, like having this person do this and this while this person does that. Like I can see them. It seems like they're really gonna lean into that whole working as a team, doing combos to try to defeat enemies as quickly as possible, kind of thing.
Yeah, like in Destiny, like even when you would run multiple classes or the same class but multiple builds of a class, where okay, so I'm gonna run Stormcaller for a Warlock, and then I'm gonna run this other Warlock's gonna run I can't think of it right now. So the class with the flame sword, but I would need to wear a special exotic piece of armor that would allow it allows you to reload faster or heal your team faster, like during the raid, or if I was running a Titan, especially in Destiny 1, you would pretty much need a Titan. 2 Titans at least running through, because you would need one Defender Titan with the bubble shield, and then you would probably need some sort of offensive Titan, probably the Hammer Titan. So you would need an offensive and a defensive Titan, but a lot of the times, especially in Destiny 2, you would run Titans with a lot of defense or a lot of support style classes, where okay, the Titan throws up a shield so we can all hide behind, but if you're running a Titan with a shield, then you run a Warlock with a ammo rift, to where if you had two or three characters with sweet business, which is the Gatling gun that they kind of showed off in the in the demo, and then kind of it was the Gatling gun exotic that went in your primary slot. You would just keep cranking it out without having to reload, because you're hiding behind the shield, which grants you unlimited ammo, or not unlimited ammo, but it would regenerate your ammo, and then you would be in the ammo rift, which would just keep you wouldn't have to reload. So you would just just hammering on the boss, and some people would like kill the boss within 1 or 2 rounds with just that. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be interested to see, especially when you get into the strongholds, which I still don't know if the strongholds are the raid type areas. I still think those are like, you know, in Destiny
Like
when you run
strikes.
like strikes or a nightfall or whatever,
Yeah.
when you run in there as a team and kind of just go in there and fight the boss and get the loot or whatever.
Yeah.
I I still think that the strongholds are their versions of strikes.
Okay.
And so, you know, in Destiny 2 now, like, the strikes have puzzles in them, and we're actually going to talk about that on Tower Casuals this week, too. The Niobe Forge puzzle was almost impossible, to the point where, like, it took, I think today, Saturday, was the first time somebody solved the puzzle. One person finally figured out the puzzle, and Bungie had to unlock the Forge without the puzzle being solved because it was so hard, and people couldn't figure it out. But that's enough Destiny talk right now. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about the Rangers ability slots. So, like I said, all the Javelins have 2 offensive slots and a support slot, with, you know, up to 12 different abilities that you can kind of mix and match. In the first slot for the Ranger, it's the grenade gear, grenade gear slot, which, you know, allows you to carry different types of grenades, like frags and inferno grenades, which set people on fire, the frosty grenades, which freeze them, sticky grenades, and then there's a special grenade that you unlock later, a homing seeker grenade. So when you throw it, the shrapnel are like little homing bombs that you can blow people up with. So if you miss them, the shrapnel will try to track down your enemies and kind of take them out, which is super cool.
Yeah, nice.
So, and then the second is the assault launcher gear slot, which allows you to have homing missiles, which is like the war machine, like Iron Man war machine kind of thing that pops out and just kind of shoots missiles out and attack. They can, if there's a cluster of small enemies, it'll take them all out mostly, but then it allows you to take out bigger enemies faster, because it'll the cluster will hit the bigger enemies all at once and kind of stagger them. So like when you stagger them, you'll be able to take either the Colossus with like a heavy weapon, or, you know, the Interceptor or the Storm go in there and kind of do some short range damage to kind of finish them off. So it's kind of cool. I was watching this one where a Ranger was kind of hovering and used these missiles on a big monster, and he stumbled back, and then the Interceptor has like a really cool like ninja stealth, like ninja kind of I don't really know how to explain it. they get these daggers, and they kind of become invincible, and he was just comboing the crap out of this big guy, and then you just see the Storm kind of throw some lightning bolts at them, and it just totally took them out. So it was a
Nice.
really cool combo that I saw. And then lastly, the Rangers support gear. Oh wait, we didn't even talk about the rest of the assault gear. They have energy pulse. Kind of, they're not really grenades, but you just send them out, and they kind of let you know where enemies are and stuff.
Okay, so like a pulse radar thing.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Lightning beams, which you kind of shoot out of your arms. They're kind of just like electric, like Emperor Palpatine, like, you know.
Yeah.
And then you get blast missiles and venom darts also, so you can poison your enemies,
nice.
and then you have these little
Does
blast
like a
missiles
slow
that do-
damage.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like one of those things that slowly drains their energy or whatever.
Yeah.
Type
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, it's cool. So and then the support gear, you get a force field that repels projectiles, kind of like the Titan shield in Destiny, and then you get the increased weapon damage for teammates. So you get kind of like this. As long as you're in this, it kind of showed like a circle where your teammates were standing, and it kind of, as long as your teammates are in this circle, you can do more damage. So If you get two rangers out there and one pops up a shield and one kind of has this damage circle, you could really deal some damage and stay protected at the same time. So
nice.
And then the ranger, like each javelin has a special ability that we've kind of come to know in Destiny and the Division. So the ranger's special ability is it's able to lock onto multiple enemies and launch a bunch of missiles, and able to take out stronger enemies with one impact. So you kind of want to pair that with the homing missiles from your special ability, or from your assault launcher gear ability. So you want to kind of mix and match for a build, but that's kind of a cool thing where you can kind of take out bigger enemies in one shot because you've got this powerful missile launcher on your back. So it's one of those things where you're gonna be using one while you're waiting for the cooldown of the other, just kind of and building up towards that cooldown of the bigger one and stuff like that. Yeah, so I mean the ranger's really versatile. You'll be able to that's clearly the one that they want people to learn how to play the game with, and I think it's going to be versatile if you don't really know what to use when you go into a mission. You'll be like, I'll just pop into a ranger javelin and kind of mix and match there. So but we're gonna move into the Colossus, which is the javelin I kind of want to use the most because the videos I was watching, and especially with some of the heavy weapons that you find out in the world, and the Colossus can use them. It's just like, man, all the javelins in some way, shape, or form look super OP in some fashion. So we're gonna start with the ordnance launcher gear slot for the Colossus. They have this. Basically, everything in this slot is some sort of mortar cannon. So the Colossus has high explosive mortars, burst fire mortars, a firewall creating mortar, which kind of creates if you see some enemies, you can shoot it and they just kind of spread and creates this big wall of fire so they can't get to you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and let's see, where's my note here? And a coil shock mortar, or not a mortar. It's a coil, a shock coil that you can lay to nearby enemies, and if they kind of walk over it, they just kind of get stunned. So it's kind of like a trap more than a weapon, but it's cool.
Okay. Nice.
So, and then they also have a shock nova coil, which is something you can launch at enemies, and it kind of stuns them and wraps them up in a coil that you can. Then what I saw was a Colossus shot this nova coil and it kind of shocked them, and then a ranger ran up to them with that shock mace and kind of finished the job with that. So it was kind of cool looking.
Nice. Yeah, it's kind of funny as we're talking about this. When Anthem first was announced as a thing, and we basically knew nothing about it. I'm just the first thing I thought about is evolved. The game evolved. It really is a shame that game didn't do very well, but they had such a cool concept in that game of these massive creatures that you worked as a team with these special abilities and special traps to set to capture the creatures and take them down. I was kind of always thinking I kind of hope they do something similar to that. Mm-hmm. In this game, and it sounds more and more like it kind of almost is there is an element of that.
Yeah, one of the strongholds they were showing in some of the videos. That in the trailer, the giant worm style thing that they showed in one of the trailers. It's like a 2-story tall worm that comes out of the ground.
Yeah,
they were showing stuff like that, and I was like you said, it kind of reminded me of that, where you got to use your special abilities and work as a team to take this thing down. And, the Colossus was kind of drawing fire because it can take the most damage, while the Interceptor and the Storm were kind of moving around the world, kind of up in the air trying to take this thing down, and then I think they were running with an interceptor, a storm, and two colossi. Is that right? Colossi. I don't know.
Colossi, probably.
English is dumb. They were running with two Colossus javelins, and really just they were taking the brunt of the damage, while the other two were kind of dealing the damage. It was kind of cool to watch. So
yeah, because it's still a bummer that game didn't do that well, because it had such potential. Yeah. Like, I was so pumped for that game when that first was announced.
Yeah.
Like, it just seemed like such an amazing, like, cool game, and yeah, it's a bummer that it. But like I said, hopefully, like, they'll have a lot of that kind of stuff. Elements of that will be in this game anyway, so I'll be able to get my fix of that kind of game in Anthem anyways. So
yeah, dude, I can't wait to run through this game with you. Man, it's gonna be great. And oh, by the way, A, I pre-ordered the game today, and B, I signed up for EA Access so we could play early.
Yeah. Man, we just got done doing Dark Zone Junkies, and I heard Jason say that he's got Origins or whatever on his PC. So he's gonna, if he plans on getting that game, he's gonna be able to get the full game when the early access demo thing or whatever comes out. That's crazy that PC is gonna be getting it like almost a month ahead of time or whatever. Like. It's going to be quite a while before.
Yeah, I wonder if these demos, the demo that they're putting out, in 2 weeks from now.
Yeah,
I wonder if your progress is going to be able to carry over. Because I mean, I don't think it is, but like, I would really love it if it would.
Something unfortunately tells me that it's going to be basically the alpha with a little bit more to it. I don't think it's going to be a whole lot more than what the alpha was, which is fine, because I did experience that, not really going much into it, but I did get to experience the alpha, and I feel like it's a good enough understanding of how things control and all that stuff, the basics that in my opinion are the most important. Anyways, because if you got all these cool things that you can do, what good does it matter if the controls really are bad? So if just being able to feel for the characters and whatever is in my opinion is plenty enough to really get an idea of what the game's gonna feel like. So
yeah, I really hope the demo kind of shows. I'm glad they're putting out 2 demos too, or having 2 chances at the demo, because one starts on the 25th through the 27th for those who pre-order the game, and then the following week is an open demo. So I'm gonna do that whole weekend. We might have to cancel some shows that we besides Dark Zone Junkies and this, the podcast stuff, we might have to just play that game. No recording of Squad Goals or Royale with Cheese that weekend. We're just Anthem the whole weekend. Can't wait. I cannot wait. All right, we're gonna get back to our Javelin talk. Sorry, everybody. Where was I? Colossus. All right, so the second slot is the heavy assault launcher gear, which is really where the heavy weapons start coming in. You'll be able to use a heavy cannon, which it's a cannon that you pretty much strap to your arm and just blow stuff up. A flamethrower, which the devs were using the flamethrower a lot in the demo for some reason, but it seems to work really well. A flat cannon, a railgun, and an acid spitter.
Nice.
Which they were saying, the acid spitter is good against the Dominion enemies because it does damage to the exosuits as well. So, if they because sometimes in Destiny when you fight a yellow enemy, they have the armor bar in white underneath. Well, it's similar.
Yeah.
It's similar in Anthem, and this like the acid spitter is going to be able to do that for the harder to fight enemy javelins. I think they're called Valkyries,
Okay.
but
Yeah, so basically removes their shield so you can do more damage with your regular weapons.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously you're going to have your support gear, which is a taunt. One of your supports is literally a taunt, so the enemies, so you draw aggro from the enemies, so your teammates can do damage without worrying about getting hit. It was funny. Some of the taunts are really funny. And then Pulse, which gives allies a damage resistance buff. So it actually sounds like the Colossus is a pretty impressive support class. You think something that big, you would go in and just kind of wreck shop, which sounds like you can do that too. But it has some pretty impressive support abilities as well. Especially that Pulse giving everybody a damage buff that,
Yeah.
So. And then the Colossus special is a siege cannon, which is literally a small nuke launcher.
Nice.
So when you charge that up, you'll be able to launch a small nuke and just eliminate everybody. So it was cool, man. I was watching them kind of run through this stronghold, and the Colossus had their special charged up, and then the enemies started like flooding through this door, and he just launched one in there and probably killed 20 guys at the same time. It was awesome.
All I can think about is that like slingshot thing that shoots nukes and Fallout. the nuke gun that you get that shoots the little mini nuke.
Yeah.
It's just basically like a slingshot that slingshots it.
Oh man.
Fallout.
All right, we're gonna get into the Storm Javelin, which I haven't really been paying too much attention to the Storm and Interceptor classes because I feel like the Storm is a ranged class, and then the Interceptor is the kind of stealthy melee style class. So if you're thinking, if you look at Borderlands 2, you look at Zero, that kind of javelin. So we're gonna look at the Storm class first. The Kinesis gear in their first slot, you'll be able to equip abilities like Lightning Strikes, Ice Storms, Projectile Ice Shards, and Heat-Seeking Flames. So you'll be able to do elemental damage from distance. So I think a Storm is a good class to have also in your team just for the sake of elemental damage, because they have a ton of abilities for elements. And so the second... let me see here. The second slot is Focus Seals for rapid fire ice bolts, fireballs, lightning balls, ice beams, and Chain of Lightning. So basically another elemental slot. Basically you'll want to kind of pair up different elements when you're going into different things. So you're not going to want to go in with like 2 lightning style abilities. You'll want to have maybe like a fire and an ice ability. So and then your support seals are you'll be able to create wind walls that protect your teammates from projectiles, similar to the Rangers support ability. And then you'll be able to create a field that decreases the cooldown of ally abilities. So
okay, nice.
If you use an ability and you're kind of standing in the circles, so it's something you might want to pair with the Rangers ability that kind of gives you a buff, and then you'll be able to pair those up. So
did you say this class was more of a ranged attacker?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I might actually I'm kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier with when we were talking about division. I always like being a ranged attacker, like in games like that, especially like when you're dealing with like multiple teams of multiple people. Like I like just taking setting up an area and just kind of picking things off from a distance. So I might. That kind of sounds interesting to me. I might actually like looking into that class for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
So
I think the storm looks super interesting. For me, I would. For me personally, I'd rather just be on the ground with like a ranger or a colossus.
yeah, yeah,
That's just the style I like to play. But you know,
yeah.
Ed, you know, he'll be on the show at some point. But
Hmm.
he's expressed interest in the storm as well because
Okay.
of the ranged and elemental stuff. So,
Okay.
but it's super. The storm super. You'll be able to summon elemental disruptions. Like
Nice.
what it does is like it'll lay down like it'll freeze everybody, or no, it'll lay down a a kind of like a area of effect damage of fire,
Okay.
and then it'll freeze everybody, and then it'll electrocute everybody, and while everybody is stunned, it calls down meteors from the sky and just smashes all the enemies. It's like this
Nice.
really dude, it looks super overpowered because it takes up so much space that like anybody within the battle, like the arena that you're fighting in, like is going to be affected, you know, and it's like it just
Yeah.
does all kinds of elemental attacks, and then you just see as everybody's stunned, you just see these meteors come out of the sky and just smash everybody.
It sounds like a finisher in Mortal Kombat or
Kinda,
something.
yeah. It's insane. It's cool. So
Finish him. Nice. Yeah, that sounds really interesting.
yeah. All right, so we're our last class here, the Interceptor. The first slot is for their assault systems, which grant glaives that can hone in on enemies and freeze them. Acid bombs that corrode enemies' armor. Cluster mines and sprays of acid. So
Okay. Nice.
yeah, it's some of the stuff that they would throw like these cluster mines and then go in and kind of melee everybody because the cluster mines would do enough damage for them to get in up close. So
Now, I'm wondering, like, what I think would be really cool is if, like, when you use your acid attacks,
mm-hmm.
if you literally could create holes in their armor that, like, if let's say you're running that class and you literally like you could see like a physical hole in the armor, and then the person who's the precision shooter character could shoot right into that hole and do more damage, like that you made from the acid. Like
Yeah,
it would be kind of cool if they almost did it like that realistic, where like wherever you shot the acid on their armor, like it would make a big hole appear in the armor. And if you shoot into that hole, you'd be shooting directly into their body, doing more damage,
yeah,
like something like that, where you create weak points in their armor.
yeah. I mean, that would be cool. That would be cool, but I don't know if that's something we'll see until the next
Well,
the next consoles or the next entry to the game or
yeah,
whatever. But
yeah,
yeah, I
because
mean
that would be
that's
pretty. It'd be pretty taxing. Like there's a lot going on into that, but that it just like that would be kind of cool if they were to the point of where they could do stuff like that.
yeah. All right, so the next slot is for the interceptor strike systems, uh, which star like ninja stars that make the enemies explode. They're like exploding ninja stars.
Nice.
You can create ninja-like clones, which will distract, and even if you upgrade it, it will even attack the enemies as well. Kind of like when they showed this off, it reminded me of the NES Ninja Gaiden games, where like
Yeah,
you would find those little shadow figures and they would just follow you around. That's the
yeah.
first thing I kind of imagined.
The shadow clone jutsu.
Yeah, uh,
Naruto fan.
strong. Let's see, strong melee strikes and melee acid. They're acid melee attacks. So you get in there and
Okay.
you can kind of like hit people and do acid damage to them as well. So yeah, man, the interceptor has some pretty up close and personal attacks. Their support systems also they mark enemies for increased damage and remove status effects from friends. So that's their support abilities. And then the special ability for the Interceptor, they activate the blades and become invulnerable and deal powerful melee damage. So it's kind of becomes more like I'm trying to think of something.
God of War because in God of War didn't he like basically have those big daggers that you would like stick into the massive like creatures that you would go against or whatever?
Yeah, but
like in some of the earlier ones.
Yeah, it's more it's less like that and more kind of, I guess you would say, Devil May Cry Bayonetta-ish.
Okay.
Where it's really quick attacks and kind of launching them into the air and kind of doing melee combos that way. So
okay.
Yeah, that's those are the abilities and stuff. Like I said, it's going to probably take the community and players that maybe aren't so invested in the community, but it's going to take a little bit to figure out which pairings of javelins and abilities work well together, and kind of like, hey, I want to use this versus this, and I still think like a lot of the things they were showing online were like super overpowered, and they've said they've tuned some stuff back already, but still. Yeah. That melee attack from the Interceptor, man, when they pop their special, it's like, get out of the way, man, because they're just not gonna. So.
Well, and to make waste of like little easy enemies is one thing, but like I could imagine that like as you go against stronger characters that would still do a lot of damage, but it may not always completely finish off like massive, like bosses and things like that. Like I'm sure they're gonna have there'll be a situations where that's just doing massive amounts of damage, but it's still not gonna kill things in one hit.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But
man. Dude, the more we keep talking about this and the abilities and stuff, the more I just want to keep playing. I want to not keep playing. I want to play the game. So
yeah, I know. Genuinely super excited to play this game. I'm so
excited, dude. And even like the flying and stuff, like it just looks like it's just fun to fly around and stuff. It's just man. It's gonna be cool.
Telling you, if anyone ever like says, hey, that they need to make a Iron Man game, like these guys definitely have that in the bag. Like it would seriously be the best Iron Man game probably ever made.
Yeah. Man. All right, so I got a few more notes here just to go over real quick about the Javelins powers in general. Each suit can hold up to 2 weapons per mission. The weapons can be changed pre- and post-mission. The Ranger, Storm, and Interceptor can hold any weapon except for heavy weapons, which are reserved only for the Colossus. Weapons include SMGs, rifles, shotguns, miniguns, grenade launchers, and heavy machine guns. And it says more maybe on the way, but for now that's what we got there. And then every Javelin has a unique melee, which the Ranger, we talked about the shock mace. The Colossus has an AoE ground smash, which is cool because you can kind of fly up in the air and hit this melee attack, and it just kind of, smashes everybody. Hulk smash.
Jets uses jets and just flies down to the ground.
Yeah. The Storm uses a fire strike to knock back enemies, and the Interceptor uses double-bladed daggers, which we talked about, to deal damage up close. The Interceptor can deal the most effective has the most effective melee and can deal the most amount of damage in a small amount of time, but the Interceptor also has the least amount of armor, so you kind of want to use that wisely. And it sounds like you would use a Colossus to taunt people and then sneak up behind them with the Interceptor and take them out. is pretty much what that sounds like. So,
and then like use damage, have the other character that uses the damage resistance for them to help create a little bit more of a barrier of a shield for that character as well.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. So the last thing I just kind of want to touch on here is the customization aspect of the Javelins, which is better suited to watch. So I recommend you go watch the customization live stream from the devs. But basically, your armor that you collect throughout the game is armor that goes underneath your suit and not necessarily on your suit. So you'll be able to see those changes right underneath your suit, and kind of like, in Halo they have that black kind of Under Armour style suit underneath their real armor. It's kind of the same way for the Javelins. So you have like this armor set underneath your Javelin suit, and so everything on the outside that is mostly visible is cosmetic. So you can unlock new styles by finding them out in the world, or there are some microtransactions in this game, but they're all purely cosmetic, and they are not tied to loot boxes, so you can see everything you're buying at once. But also, they said almost all the things that they're selling in the store, besides maybe some special items during events or whatnot, can be found out in the world. So you won't have to spend money to find them, but if you want something right away, you can buy it. Similar to what Assassin's Creed does for cosmetic armor. So, which, by the way, they released a picture of the Athens armor for Cassandra today. Man, that looks that armor alone makes me want to go back and play Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So, but yeah, everything's cosmetic. There's special armor pieces during events and stuff. They're gonna like. During the holidays, they might have Christmas-themed ones, Christmas-themed vinyls, or, like I said already, the N7 armor will be there, and dragon scales for your under armor, for lack of a better term, will also be there. You can also have clean armor or battle damaged armor, and that's all cosmetic, and you can change it on the fly at any time as well. Nice. And you can, like I said earlier, for those who played Mass Effect Andromeda, the kind of color wheel that you use to customize stuff will be there as well. It's the same one for Mass Effect Andromeda, and you can kind of create any color you want. And then anything you create, you can save in a loadout spot. So
nice.
So if you like one style but you want to create another style and then go back, like it you can save it all. It's amazing the things you can save in your loadout spots.
Nice.
And also your customized Javelin loadouts are separate from your like where you put what you put in your ability slots. So those loadouts are separate.
Okay.
Also, so which is also really nice.
Nice.
Man, I can't, dude. That first day, I'm gonna spend like 3 or 4 hours just designing my Javelins.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we were hoping for, though, is we wanted to be able to make our Javelins our own, and like really, like make them unique and stuff like that. So that that's cool, like with the different colors and stuff.
Yeah. The only thing they said you can't change the color of is the unique vinyls that they put in the game, like the stickers. You can apply to your armor, but you do not have to use vinyls at all.
Yeah.
So any texture, any fabric, any element that you find that you want to put on your Javelin is totally customizable. You can change the color, you can change the battle wear, you can change what armor set it goes on. Even the Legion of Dawn armor that you get if you pre-order the Legion of Dawn edition. Even all that is customizable. You can change the colors. Nice. You can change you can change what it looks like. It's all there. It's cool.
Nice.
And also you will be able to customize your weapons look as well.
Oh, nice.
So you know how you can use shaders in Destiny on weapons?
Yeah.
It's not the same system, but any weapon you get, you will be able to change the color of any aspect of the weapon as well. So
nice.
So if you want like a bright pink rifle with a with a bright purple barrel, you'll be able to do that.
Nice.
If you want stripes on your weapon, you'll be able to do that. It's cool. It's so, oh my god, I highly recommend anybody who's listening to the podcast right now to go over and check out the customization from the Anthem channel. That live stream, it was an hour and 20 minutes long, and I watched the whole thing. Because
I might have to go watch that.
Just getting into the minute detail is just, oh my gosh, it was amazing. So, lastly, leveling your javelins is different from leveling your pilot. Like I said earlier, the loot you find will be javelin specific. The loot dropped will be weighted towards the javelin you're using. The higher level armor, the higher the level your armor and weapons are, the better your performance will be. Think Destiny's light levels or Diablo's weapon and armor being the main drive to improve your power. So, pretty stoked on that as well. So,
yeah, it all sounds really promising, really good.
yeah. But I've watched a ton of not Destiny, Anthem stuff this week. I watched a lot of Destiny stuff this week too, obviously, because there's a bunch of stuff happening in that game too. But I want to give a shout out not only to the Anthem channel proper, but to the YouTuber Dantix, who's been doing a lot of Anthem content lately, and also Your Anthem channel. I don't know, I forget the guy's name who runs that channel, but that's the other channel I was watching as well. Really cool breakdown videos. I hope our breakdown videos are half as well done as theirs are, because they really provided a lot of information here, and I just want to give credit where credit's due. I didn't just sit and watch a ton of Anthem stuff. I watched their stuff too, and they did really good breakdown videos, so you should check out their channels as well. They did great work. So but that's kind of all we're going to talk about in terms of what the Javelin's abilities and the weapon slots and everything. I don't know. You want to hit on anything else before we get?
No, I think that's good. I mean, I gotta watch. I want to watch some more of the stuff too as well. And basically, like anyone who's listening to this, definitely go check out some of that stuff, and because us talking about it might be enough for some people, but yeah, I'm sure a lot of people would like us getting you interested in it maybe, and so then you can actually go and see that, see it in play and stuff like that, and eventually here, we'll hopefully have our own video footage of gameplay and stuff like that you guys can enjoy as well. So
yeah,
but
yeah, I want to try to get some breakdown videos up on the channel this week. I have scripts written. I need to capture some gameplay footage, which can't really do that without the game, but. Yeah. I'm gonna try to get on the Anthem YouTube channel and kind of not, I guess, copy their footage, but I'm gonna use some of their footage for the videos, and they'll be credited, of course. I don't want to put videos up and not credit anybody. So
yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for the breakdown videos. Probably gonna be somewhere between 2 and 5 minutes long each. I'm gonna do one for each javelin that we talked about today, and kind of move on from there, but. If they're not up already, they will be up later this week. So, yeah, I guess that does it for this episode of Javelins for Hire. I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank everybody for sticking around and watching the videos. And our second episode, watching it didn't do as well as the first video, but our podcast numbers are up from week to week, so that's great. You can download us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and other podcast apps. You can also watch us on ngrradio.com under the Javelins for Hire banner. You can also watch us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and share. We're gonna we're working really hard on these new channels, trying to get those numbers up. So I'm really proud of Javelins for Hire and Dark Zone Junkies, our division podcast as well, that we're doing with Moose and Jason. And then our Destiny podcast, Tower Casuals, which is kind of a casual Destiny talk show that we're doing. So I'm really proud of all this. Anthem's going to take up a ton of our time. I can't wait to just dive into this game and really get into it, man. I can't.
Yeah.
I know you played the alpha, but we can't really talk about it. But when this demo comes out, man, I cannot wait to just, 2 weeks. Yeah. 2 weeks, man. Maybe that week it comes out, we'll do a live stream and a live podcast during gameplay that I think will do well. So
yeah.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. You can find Jesse at Phantom Maggot AX on Twitter. You can find me at CoreyNHD86 on Twitter. You can follow Javelins for Hire on Twitter at Javelins for Hire, and email the show at javelinsforhire@gmail.com with questions, comments, concerns, or other ideas or corrections. If we miss something on the show that you really feel passionate about and want us to correct, we'll do that as well. Like I said earlier, check out the YouTubers Dantix for their breakdown videos and Your Anthem for some cool footage that they put up as well. Also, IGN is doing their IGN First on Anthem this month as well. They always have good footage for that kind of stuff too. So, also, subscribe to our other channels. Subscribe to all of our other podcasts. Arsenal X, Nerds Gone Platinum, Nintendo Power Block, and Nerds Gone Rogue. Come check out our website, ngrradio.com. And until next week, we love you.
Take it easy.